Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Where did we go wrong? We were doing so well. Before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsor for this episode of Snails with No Shells, I Shine Magazine and Podcast. Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Ms. BJ Martin, and this is Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. That's my only rule. All right, let's get into it. Let's bring my lovely, beautiful, amazing guest to the stage. Deborah.
Hey, how are you?
I am awesome. And excuse me, that's Deborah Juniper Frye.
Yes, Deborah is fine.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure and an honor to always be with you whenever I can.
Yes. Oh, I'm full of gratitude.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. Deborah, where were you born and raised?
Born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia. I actually stayed in Norfolk, Virginia until I met the love of my life, got married, and moved to Spain for a few years to live there because he's military. He's a veteran now, and then we moved back here, and I've been back here now since then.
Okay, where are you now?
I'm in Virginia Beach.
Okay, Virginia Beach. Okay, you said Norfolk.
Virginia.
When I think Norfolk, I think Navy because I had a little boyfriend that was in the Navy in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right.
Okay.
My daddy also is a veteran. So Norfolk is a Navy town. The 757 is really a Navy area. So born and raised here. Yeah.
Okay. So how was it? How was it growing up there?
I grew up. I'm one of 10. I'm one of 10 children. So mama stayed home and had babies while daddy went off and did his military life. So
they were in love. They were in love.
In love. So one of 10, so the house was full all the time with my 3 brothers and 6 sisters. And back then I had a good life, didn't know that I was living with minor means, but we had a good life. It was simple. We had a good time playing outside with the kids, something that kids don't hardly do nowadays. And so it was an adventure growing up.
I bet it was. Yeah,
yes.
All those children.
Yes.
And okay, so what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I wanted to be a nurse. And not just a nurse. I wanted to be a nurse in, I think they call it like NICU. I wanted to deal with the babies, So, but I found myself where at a young age, I was very emotional. So I thought, well, maybe I don't want to do that. And then I thought I'd go to college and be something else. And I ended up being something totally different than what I ever imagined as a grief specialist. and a life and recovery coach. So the Lord had other plans for me
Yes.
to use my compassion and my empathy and my care for people. So it
Yes.
wasn't with the little babies, but it was with the brokenhearted.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I love that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just wanted to help. Just
Yeah.
having that helping spirit. And
Always
so you
wanted to
still
help.
you
Yeah.
still in
Yeah.
alignment, with
Yep,
that,
still
with your
in
duty.
alignment. It is unbelievable to me,
Yes. So let's get
and
into it. Let's talk
still in
about that.
alignment.
Yes. So let's talk about that. How did you get into becoming a grief specialist?
Well, let me make sure I have this down. I actually started working at a church,
Mhm.
and they needed somebody to help out with the bereavement ministry, and that became part of my job.
Mhm.
So I would oversee the entire bereavement department to include once a person passed, right on through the aftercare. And I grew such a passion in that field here again, right in line with where the Lord would have me to be.
Mhm.
And I started, uh, doing some self improvement courses, learning some things, reading up on grief. Of course, the Lord helped me to really hone in on my skills, people skills, communication skills. So he kind of made me with all of the study an expert in that skill,
Mhm.
in that skill set. So I have a purpose and a passion for
Yeah.
this, so I decided to stay in that field and continue it on today, not no longer at the church, but still in the field.
Yes. Okay. And I
Hmm.
did read that you dealt with some grief yourself. Do you mind sharing some of that with us?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I dealt with horrific grief myself. Losing my dad to a vehicle accident.
Mm.
He was crossing the street, and he was struck by a vehicle.
Mm.
And it was very close to our home. So somebody came, knocked on the door to let us know that my dad had just got hit in the intersection there. And once we all ran out to the scene, I saw that it was a close friend of mine that mistakenly struck my dad with her vehicle. So it was a tragedy on top of the devastation, on top of just so many different emotions, and then just losing my mom um, on a Mother's Day Friday, the Friday before Mother's Day. And then
Mm.
my younger sister died in her sleep, probably 4 months after, almost to the day. My mother in law passed on a Valentine's Day.
Oh
So
goodness.
there are a lot of grief, but I was able to find some good out of every situation, no matter how devastating it was in time. The Lord had
Mm.
me, and working through it, He had me to find some renewed joy in every
Yes.
situation.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing how God will, in order for you to be able to be relatable and to really understand how people really feel, to really have empathy for people, you got to
Yeah, you have
um,
to.
go
You
through some
have to.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's just it can be so devastating. You're like, oh, did I really have to go through all that? But
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And it took me 30 years really to process my dad's death
Mhm.
and really be able to talk about it. So I was able to co-author in a book called Surviving Her. So I
Mhm.
was able to write a chapter, and I wrote about my dad and the devastation of it and the forgiveness um, of it towards my close friend.
Yes.
And today we are still friends.
Oh, that's
We
amazing.
talk. We
Mhm.
respect one another. So
Mhm.
God really worked out that situation for both of us, because she was just as devastated as I was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. So when all this was happening, were you already doing the work, the ministry at the church, or was this?
No, no. When all this happened, I was working at Old Dominion University.
Okay.
Yeah, when all of this happened.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Look at you now.
God is something. I tell you,
Yes.
it's a miracle. It is a
Yes.
miracle. Only God could have done such a thing.
Yes. What they say,
Yes.
you see my glory, but you don't know my story.
Don't know the story. Yeah. So,
Yes.
and then he allowed me to write a book, my first book, Grieving Under Grace. So, but we'll talk about that
Yes, we're
when we
gonna talk
get
because
to
you
it.
got a lot of stuff going on in the authorship department.
Hmm.
So, all right. So you said you are the business owner of Grief Care Consultants
Consulting. Hmm.
LLC. So when did you start that? And when did you start it? Why? And
I started it 2000 at the end of 2017.
mm,
Really didn't do anything. I started writing and I started my business all in 2017. And I really didn't do anything with the business until probably 2018
mhm,
with getting things lined up with it. And I just wanted to start a business, to be an entrepreneur, to leave a legacy for my great grands. I
mhm.
wanted to do something for my future. I wanted to do
Okay.
something intentional for my future. So I started a business, and started writing almost the same time.
Okay. Okay. So what is the consult your not program, but your business, what is that about?
Well,
How do
it is
you
it is about, and I'm also a grief recovery method specialist. So I use a lot of different tools and coping skills to help my clients through whatever they're going through. My training is not just about death; it's about whatever deep sadness you have. You can have a deep sadness over the loss of a pet, going through a divorce, loss of a job, loss of hardship. Loss of a friend,
Mhm,
church hurt,
mhm,
whatever, not tying your shoe correctly, whatever deep
mhm.
sadness you have. As a grief recovery method specialist and a life and recovery coach, I'm able to come alongside to help you over the bridge from that not so feel good feelings back over to some joy, some coping skills, some life assurances, and ways that you're able to cope in and through.
Okay. So give us like one small nugget. What like something simple that you would recommend doing when you're in that grief process.
I would recommend journaling. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
can get a notebook and a pen or a pencil,
Yes. Yes.
and journal your thoughts. Put your heart on paper is what I tell people to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're missing someone, write love notes. If you're having a hard time understanding from A to B, write down some of those thoughts, as to how you're stuck and how you can get unstuck. So a lot of times when we journal ourselves through, when you read what you have written, you will be surprised,
Mm-hmm.
one, to see that you are not as far back as you thought you are, that you are able to comprehend and write down a plan to get out of whatever you're in.
Yes.
So there are so many things that journaling can bring to your light.
Yes. Yes. And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I journal and I've written some nice poems from
Yes.
journaling. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
form of
Yes.
just me pouring my heart out on
Mm-hmm.
paper, and then I'm looking at it like, oh, so then I start, organizing it now.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can kind
Yeah.
of make it rhyme.
Exactly.
Yes. So yes, I love journaling. Yes.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. Yes,
So
ma'am.
and so grief can so and so do you equate that with mental health as well?
Well, there are two different things, but both can
Okay.
trigger both can trigger the other.
Okay.
So grief can trigger mental health.
Mhm.
You have people that may already have a mental health diagnosis, and
Okay.
grief can trigger that. Grief can take them to a darker place where they need additional counseling, or
Mm,
they're grieving a little more than normal. So
okay.
so yeah, two different things, but yet they intertwine with one another
Okay.
easily.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So let's get into your authorship. Oh my gosh. Uh oh, you have it says 8. I'm trying to read this.
Yes, eight. I
8
just
8
finished up
bestsellers.
my eighth book, January 10th. I launched it on my dad's and my husband. They have the same birthday, January 10th. So I
Oh.
launched my eighth book And if you read my first book, you'll see that 8 is a very important number for me.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do a solo project as my 8th project, and the Lord gave me the idea to do something for children and adults to be able to use at the same time. So the name of the book is Grief in Color. And
Mhm.
so it is a coloring activity book that up 10 years and older can participate in the book and use the book. And I make all of my pieces, my books, as keepsake pieces. So there's a
Okay.
journaling page behind every coloring page, so you're able to
Mm.
and this is positive quotes and affirmations. So,
Mm.
so it's a positive quote and affirmation, grief in color. And you're able to journal in that book as well. So it becomes a keepsake piece when you're done.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love
Thank
that.
you.
Beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So let's talk about your other books. You've done anthologies.
Yes, I love anthologies.
Mm.
Anthologies, I tell people, it helped me to grow up, to
Mm.
be able to clap for others, to cheer on others, to collaborate with other like-minded people, wonderful authors. So last year alone, I did 4 collaborations and became a #1 best-selling author with all of those collaborations. So
Wow.
it gives you collaborating with other authors. It give you a greater opportunity to be visible, a greater
Mhm.
opportunity to collaborate, and a greater opportunity to win whatever goal it is that you're setting out, because you have several people working on the same thing. So yeah, so I was able to do collaborations last year as well.
Yes, and finding
Hmm.
joy.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
we're in there
right.
together.
Yes, we are
Yes, that's how we met. So
co-authors.
look how wonderful it's turning out to be, right? So
It's
many great
amazing.
opportunities.
Yes.
So
Yes.
many we have done so many things together, BJ. I
Yes.
mean, just by
Amazing.
saying I want to partner with Miss Vanessa in
Yes.
finding joy, and we've done so many things and
Yeah.
projects together that
Yes, and
it's
I
been
I
it's
see
been
more to
phenomenal.
come. Yes, and I see more projects to come.
Yeah.
I'm like, here
Yes.
we are.
Yes.
I didn't know that I'd be thank you on it magazine.
That's right. Look at here. I mean,
Yep.
and you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate all the positive words and
Yes.
encouragement. I
Keep
really,
it
really
going,
do.
honey.
But
Keep it going.
I never thought, like you said, it was because of the anthology, Vanessa,
Yes.
her vision. I meet all of you beautiful ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, and even Tina D. Lewis, my friend, she introduced me to the opportunity.
Yes.
So we'll start
Yes.
there. Vanessa, and I meet all of you amazing ladies. I'm reading these stories. I'm like,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you are to be commended too, because it takes intentional will. All of this
mm,
good stuff could be put in your lap, but if you don't do anything with it, what is it? So it takes your intentional will, your courage, to put that stuff together and to move on it. So hand clap to you, girlfriend.
thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Deborah. I kind of, this. See, you reading me because I've been kind of going back and forth with that. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you
You're
so
doing it.
much.
And a lot of times the devil will sneak in and make us doubt ourselves and
Mm,
self sabotage ourselves when we
mhm.
have greatness right there on the other side of the door. So keep going.
Yes. All right.
Keep
Thank you.
going. Yeah.
Thank you. I heard her. She said it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's talk about some of your individual work that you've done.
My first book,
Mhm.
which I talk about my life in every chapter. It is Grieving Under Grace, title straight from heaven, and I was able to share about grief, about different subjects. So some of the subjects in that book is, of course, grieving over the loss of a loved one, grieving over hardship, grieving over church hurt, grieving over self shame, which is my #1 chapter. I talk about my sister in that chapter, grieving over loss of friendships. So I have a variety of different subjects that can bring you deep sadness, and I was able to share a little bit of my life story as to how what coping skills I used and how I kind of got through that journey in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Grieving under grace.
Wow. And okay, and so you have another project that you're working on now. Am
I
I
have,
correct?
right. So right now I'm working
Yes.
on two anthologies
Okay.
with Miss Vanessa Blackwell and then Dr. Hills Prudent. So working on two anthologies now, and then I'm working on my own anthology. So I got enough courage to do an intentional will to do my own anthology, and it is for men. All of my co-authors will be men, and the name of that book, the title of that book is Grief Through His Eyes, seeing grief from his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So I am gathering men contributing writers now,
Yes.
and they will be writing their story about something that they had to overcome, and they'll be inspiring other people how that they can overcome those things as well. So I am super excited
Yes.
about that. A couple of nights ago, I had my first Zoom meeting with interested men, and
Mhm.
several men showed up. I mean, I almost started crying when I saw the first man pop on the
Uh-huh.
screen.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm excited about that. My husband is going to be one of my co-authors.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yes. Oh,
I am so
beautiful.
excited that we are putting this together, and the world will start hearing our men speak about overcoming different trials and things like that.
Yes, and that is so important. I do like little mini videos talking
Hmm.
about men and mental health.
Yes.
And
Okay.
yes,
I
I'm
did
an
see. I
advocate
did
for that.
see. Okay.
Yes, and I talk, and I'm cheering them on. I'm like, because
Hmm.
some men don't have mates and wives, and so
Right.
I'm like, I see you if you're out there doing, if you're out there doing something, trying to be
Right.
productive.
Exactly.
If you don't have anybody to cheer for you, I'm here. I'm like, I'm cheering for you. I'm
Right.
holding space, and I'm like, if our men heal, then they can help us. We
Yeah.
can come
Right.
together. We all need to heal, but
That's
our
right.
men, they need a space to where they can speak how they feel,
Hmm.
and they don't have that space, and then they get teased. I've seen memes and things out there that are horrible when they
Exactly.
do. If they
Exactly.
do cry, someone takes a picture of them crying, and they get made fun of. So I can
Right.
understand why they don't feel comfortable with
Right.
expressing their
Exactly
emotions.
right.
Yes, so this
Exactly right.
book
Yes,
is
sometimes
perfect.
social media, society, it don't give them a seat at the table to be able to explain and express themselves.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
and I'm like, man, I say little things like it's okay not to have all the answers.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
to ask for help.
That's right.
Let's
Yeah.
if they're humans.
Yeah.
Let's normalize men
That's right.
being human.
Exactly. Exactly. And still respect them, and
Yes,
honor them and encourage them and cover them.
yes,
Cover them with prayer and encouragement, and I can, just bless. We need to bless our men as often as we can.
yes.
Yes.
I agree. So when I saw that, I was like, Deborah, that is
Yeah,
perfect. That
the
is
Lord gave me
perfect.
this concept maybe 2 years ago,
Mm,
but with my procrastination and um, always trying to shy away and behind the shadows,
mhm,
I just kind of tucked it away for a little while, and I started working on other projects,
mhm.
and but the Lord said that 2022, it is this year,
Yes,
this is time to go. Time to go.
yes.
So,
I love it.
yeah, so I kind of ran it by my coach, and it started. The Lord started putting meat on those bones.
Yes, I love it. Oh, I love it. Deborah, I love it. You are amazing. Oh my
Oh, thank you
God.
so much. Thank you.
Oh, you have so much going on. Did you think you'd be doing all this?
Never,
Yeah.
never thought this country girl. The devil meant me for dead.
Mm,
Living the way, growing up and looking back over my life and looking at the history of my family.
mhm.
where we have had drugs and alcohol and molestation, all sorts of things.
Mhm.
So the devil meant for me to be dead and gone, or either in the street. But he had no idea that the Lord would cover me with such grace,
Yeah.
and keep me,
Yes.
for this
Yeah.
hour.
Yes, and I can relate to that. I know, and I talk about it all the time, and I'm going to keep talking about it, people, because I have to speak my truth. I try to, take my life when I was in
Hmm.
high school. So
Well, I am
really,
so
really
happy you
young.
did not succeed. So, so happy. Look at the world now.
I'm telling you, and
You
I've been
see how
through a
many
lot
people? Yeah,
in my
yeah,
life. Yeah, I
yeah.
have, but we're here, and people
But
are
God,
going through.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
So yeah, I'm very thankful to be here in this moment with
Yeah.
you. I really am. I'm every
It's
day. I'm
special.
like full of gratitude. Every day I
Yes,
wake up,
it's
I say
special.
thank you.
Yeah, and only God can do such a thing. Really,
Mhm.
really, only God
Yeah.
can do such a thing to heal and mend the mind, the heart, the soul in such a
Mhm.
way.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, but I can talk to you 2, 3, 4 more hours.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I
Oh
love your
yeah.
energy, but we only got a few minutes, you guys.
Okay.
All right. So did I pretty much get everything
I
covered?
think so.
Is there
We
anything?
talked about, yeah, I
Did I
think
miss out
so.
anything? I just want to make sure that this is your time. I want to make sure
Yeah.
you get everything out, all your
Yeah.
projects, whatever you have going on.
Yeah,
Come
well,
on, go.
like I said, the projects that I have now would be two anthologies with Miss Vanessa.
Hmm.
And every time I try to think of the title, Joy in the Morning. Okay, here we go. Joy
Okay.
in the Morning for Miss Vanessa. And then
Yes.
with Dr. Hills Pruden, we're talking about the Confident Woman.
Okay.
So those are the two anthologies that I'm working on, and then my anthology as well, full of all male co-authors.
I
So
love it.
excited, so proud that co-authors are coming out, and that is grief through his eyes,
Yes,
grief
I
through
love
his
it.
eyes, seeing
I
grief
love
from his point of view.
that book is going, oof.
It's gonna be fire. It's
Yes.
gonna be fire.
Yes, girl, my hands are sweating.
So,
That
so just
is,
like,
oh
and
my,
I'm on schedule to. We're gonna launch that book the weekend of Father's Day, because I want it to be a huge moment for the man. So
genius.
we're gonna launch it that Saturday before Father's Day Sunday.
Genius.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a huge event that to really honor the male co-authors.
Yes, I love it. That is so genius.
Yes. Oh
Wow.
God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then who knows what else is going to be happening
Right.
down the pipe.
Right.
But I want to solely finish up what I'm doing now and just focus on that book with the male authors. And right
Mhm.
after I'm done with that, I'm sure something else will be on the calendar to finish up the other half of the year. I'm excited
Right.
about that.
And then you have articles that you have to submit to the magazine.
Exactly.
So we
So,
are
and
co
what a
people.
blessing. I
Yes.
mean, to become a contributing writer for magazines. I
Yes.
never in my life would I have thought I would be doing such a thing. So,
Yes.
I think I'm in three different magazines right now. And then I wrote an article that'll come out in March in another magazine. So, I am super, super excited. I am blessed for all of these opportunities that have just opened up. The Lord has opened doors that we have not yet knocked on, and He has
Yes.
given us an opportunity to walk through them.
Yes.
So I am grateful.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So before we go, just give us, maybe a word of encouragement, some advice, something.
Yeah. Well, I normally leave with telling people that life is hard. There are no flowery words to get us through whatever we are dealing with. But in this life, I can promise you that you are able to endure. That's how we get up every day. That's how we keep going every day. So we are able to endure. We are able to overcome. Pulling that sheet, those covers off of you, and you're going. You look back over your life and you wonder, how did you get this far? So you are able to overcome, and you are able to begin again with new intentional will, new joy, new grace, new mercy. Whatever you need to do, you are able to begin again. So I just like to encourage people to let them know that I am an available source for you if you ever find yourself in a dark corner. Make sure, and you yourself, has already proclaimed that you are a source for so many different people. So people that are listening to this, jot down our names and our information, because you have somebody that you can reach out to if you ever find yourself in a dark corner.
Absolutely. Oh, that was beautifully said. Thank you so much. It's a breath of fresh air.
Oh, you are so welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Deborah, again for being on Snails with No Shells. We
I love it.
appreciate you, and we're full of gratitude. Thank you so much.
So how
And
did you
again,
get that title? Can I ask you really quick before we go?
yeah,
How did you get your title?
a dream. It came to me in a dream maybe a couple years ago, and I wrote it down, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, what is this? I had no
Yes.
idea, but I
Yes.
made sure I wrote it down. I
That
have
is so
no,
powerful. Just to visualize that, a snail with no shell.
yes,
How light is that for the snail to just thrown off the heaviness of your back?
yes,
So I love it. Yeah.
absolutely. I love it.
Okay.
You get it.
I get it. I get it.
I
Yes.
love it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me again. It has been
Thank
a joy
you.
and a treat.
Thank you. And before we go, I do want to first say, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, share these so we can get our numbers up and get more people to hear what we have to say. There's been some phenomenal people that I've interviewed,
Mhm.
and the word needs to get spread more. Show some love, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And my message to everyone would be: remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all.
Beautiful. Bye bye, everybody.